Who would win? Kronos, primordial deity and master of time? Or a random cat I found sleeping in a dumpster? The answer may surprise you!
Meow.
I wanted to see if the narcoleptic cat in Hades 2 could beat the game without any damage from Melinoe. So here was my strategy. First of all, if you're not doing any damage, your weapon doesn't matter, right? Wrong. Each weapon has 4 different aspects to choose from, and while most of them modify your damage output in some capacity, a few of them get a little freaky, like the aspect of Persephone's skull that randomly boosts the level of your boons, or the aspect of Melinoe axe that increases your maximum health by 50 points. Shit, that's all you had to say. Since Toula is a literal cat, she's not exactly what the streets would call reliable. Every time you enter a room, Toula curls up in a little ball and takes a snoozer. You have to run over Toula to wake her up, which then causes her to savagely claw your enemies 10 times exactly before getting bored and going back to sleep. Aw, look at her, dude.
I hate her so much.
If you're lucky, she'll hit an enemy every 2.5 seconds for 99 damage. So while Toula slowly whittles down one enemy at a time, I'm fighting for my fucking life against 900 angry tuna. I picked the aspect of Melinoe axe so that I can take a lot more damage during these long fights when I inevitably get hit by some absolute bullshit. Which head wants to apologize? The next thing I needed to figure out was my Arcana. Compared to the weapon selection, the Arcana has a much more interesting set of decisions to make. Obviously, anything that strictly improves your damage output is off the table. I also can't use any magic on Omega moves, so the entire top right corner is useless. But almost every other card is very helpful. Wayward Sun for healing, persistence for more health. These 4 basically let you pull the Glock out and say, "You sure about that, brother?" Alright then. Surprisingly good options considering the fact that we're not even trying to play the game. Here's what my final build looks like in case you hate yourself enough to try this. Finally, I needed to figure out which gods to aim for when you don't want 99% of their boons. Poseidon is the undisputed king of pimping out your run. Buried treasure gives more rewards, Sea Star gives more buried treasure, and water fitness? More like fitness boon in my build Hades 2. Aphrodite has some health restoration and a duo boon with Poseidon that reduces damage from nearby foes by 15%. That would be pretty sick. I'd like that a lot, actually. Demeter, Apollo, and Hephaestus could also boost our survivability. I started with Poseidon's keepsake to make sure I could get Sea Star and buried treasure ASAP. I briefly debated doing the run at 67 fear, but quickly realized I was having a psychotic break and set it back to 0. Alright, let's play the worst version of Hades 2.
Once more then.
Poseidon showed up first because I forced him to. Get owned, lil bro. I ended up taking Wave Flourish to open the possibility for the Aphrodite duo. With maxed out Animal Bond, Toula is surprisingly strong in Erebus. The first room only took about 15 seconds, which gave me the confidence to dive headfirst into a stranger's hole. What? Where a sharply dressed Chaos appears to be holding what can only be described as a mouth baby. It was kind of a wash and the vibes were distressing, so I left. In the next room, I found out that Toula's biggest weakness, aside from sleeping, is rocks. Please don't make her fight a rock. The rock will win. 2 rooms later, Artemis showed up and made my cat look like an idiot. I grabbed a Selene boon at the first shop, and I chose Phase Shift for when things get spicy. Now, Toula's first mini-boss encounter was, I mean, yeah, you know? Instead of focusing on Captain Stabs over here, she just kept targeting the little eyeball ads, which will literally spawn forever, so it's entirely possible Toula will never hit the right enemy. This fight lasted about 3 minutes, and believe me when I say, it was the shortest boss fight by far. But we did get Sea Stars, so that's cool. And it immediately gave me 50 more max health, so shout out to Atlantis or whatever. I ran into a family dispute and obviously had to give it to Underwater Unk.
Oh, that's a swell.
Apollo did not like that shit at all. After re-rolling some absolute doo-doo, I got Blinding Rush, which makes me sprint faster and dazes enemies so their attacks might miss. Now it's time to see if Toula can take down a real boss. Hecate starts solo, so the cat can focus on her until the clones come out. And naturally, she's gonna hit the wrong clone every time. During the intermission, she was sniping the witches though. Me personally, I'd love to have 50% less magic balls on my screen, but that's just life, brother. Toula had to hit Hecate 59 times, and it took her 4 minutes and 32 seconds to solo the boss. That was unfair? Nah, dude, you're right. I should have blindfolded the cat. The next keepsake I chose was the fig leaf, so I could avoid one encounter in every region, and hopefully shave like 3 hours off the run. Oceanus actually turned out to be the easiest section. My plan for the second region was to go full coward mode. Anytime I had an option to fight a mini-boss, I didn't do that. I straight up bailed. It kept happening, and I kept choosing to not do that. Oceanus also has a lot of traps that will automatically activate and damage the enemies, so that was nice. I only picked up one meaningful boon in this region, and it was Nitro Boost from Hermes, making me fast as fuck, boy. The problem of being faster than light is that you can only live in darkness. After plundering 2 shops, a meeting with Greek Nick Cage, and the proc from the fig leaf keepsake. What the fuck? I only had 4 combats in this region, and the traps were pumping. Even Scylla was easier than Hecate somehow. First of all, as previously established, I'm fast as fuck. Second, Roxy literally doesn't move, which I'm pretty sure is not in the art of war. And third, the fight is designed to get easier over time. Until the part where it does get harder, but shut up about that. The final phase was insane, and I think I actually broke my controller dashing, but a random trap did eventually secure the W. Toula had to hit the sirens 169 times, give or take some trap damage, and it took her 10 minutes and 28 seconds to win. A 10-minute boss fight, dude. I mean, I'm sure there's no way a fight could take longer than that. Afterwards, I swapped my keepsake to Aphrodite to try and pick up that duo boon I mentioned earlier. The Fields of Mourning were the hardest region to get through in the run. Toula will not attack the ambient enemies for some reason. She just doesn't care. So every time I started an encounter, I had to fight all the other guys I pulled on the way to it as well. Yeah, this sucked major balls. Plus, a lot of the enemies now have armor, and Toula's damage is falling off since she doesn't scale. But the worst part is the guys who make the map dark? I can't even find Toula. One time I ran around for 30 seconds just to see she had been perfectly hidden in the blind spot like an asshole. I hate this cat. It wasn't all bad though. I went in a mini-boss room for Poseidon and the fig leaf popped. That's close enough, Dionysus, thank you. Cerberus is the most dangerous boss so far, because all of his attacks are huge explosions, and sometimes they are literally everywhere. There are also traps that take away the one thing I have going for me, which is my ability to see colors. Toula's damage is just awful at this point, and Cerberus was smacking my bald ass silly. Toula had to hit Cerberus 218 times, and the fight lasted 17 minutes and 44 seconds. Look at how far into the video you are. I wasn't even halfway done with Cerberus, and you're probably about to leave. Wait, no, subscribe. The last keepsake I took had to be Knucklebones. Knocking 15% off of Kronos' health is insane. Tartarus was so much easier than the Fields. The enemies tend to spawn in waves, and I got a lot of the purple skulls, which are pretty easy to dodge. The big orange dudes are remarkably stupid. This one dropped a pillar on himself. I also picked up Deep Descent from Hades, so Toula could only hit the wrong targets half as much. At the final shop, I did theoretically have a chance of getting that duo boon. I didn't, so I re-rolled, and then I still didn't, so I re-rolled, and after that I said fuck it and took Glamour Game. As I approached the final boss fight of the run, I realized something poetic about the situation. Where Kronos is powerful and driven, Toula is lazy and unfocused. But she's literally invulnerable, and when she locks in, she will get you eventually. It's just a matter of time. As soon as the fight started, Odysseus sniped his ancient ass. Toula followed that up by fighting the wrong guys again. Wow, who would believe such an outcome? Toula sucks so much I actually found out what these flags do on my 121st run of Hades 2. Apparently, if enemies stand in their radius, they get a little blue shield that absorbs 1 hit. And if they keep standing in it, they can get a lot of them. So I have to stand away from the flags so Kronos doesn't get buffed and make Toula waste hits. Also, he's still the final boss, and I'm just a little godling. Come on, man, you wouldn't hit a bald guy, would you? After a grueling 14 minutes and 21 seconds, we finally made it to phase 2. This phase comes with one-shot explosions, circle explosions, whatever the fuck this is, and when he hits half health, he summons enemies that start healing him.
No. Wait.
They got Kronos back up to 75% before Toula got the last of them. Then it was just a matter of running out the clock and trying not to blow all of my death's defiances. Toula had to hit Kronos 405 times thanks to the healing, and the entire fight took 25 minutes and 3 seconds. Here's the wrap up for the end of the run. 89-minute clear time, I hate my life, and 194,000 damage inflicted by Toula, 0 by Melinoe. There's a link to the full run in the description. I don't recommend trying this. I've always preferred dogs.